Okay, so let's have the continuation of examples for maxima and minima. Uh, Let me read it. So a triangle has a base 12 feet and an altitude of 8 feet high. So find the area of the largest rectangle so that can be inscribed in the triangle so that the base of the rectangle falls on the base of the triangle. So let me draw the so we have a triangle. A triangle has a base of 12 feet long and an altitude. Okay, so let's say we have a triangle. So it will be a right triangle. So the base is 12 feet. And then we have the height, so to be 8 feet. Then we are to inscribe. Okay? So we have a rectangle, so inscribe inside the triangle. Okay. And then we do not know, so what's the base? So let's say the base here, so this is x, then that is y. So we are to maximize the area. So the area of the rectangle is x times y. And we have to maximize that area. So for our solution, we have the area, so which is expressed in two variables, so that is x and y. So we need to find another relation, the relation between x and y, okay, so that we could express our given formula into a single independent variable. And what is given here is the height which is 8 feet, so for the triangle, and then we have the base of the triangle, so which is 12. Okay, so from here, so we can just use, so we can use similar triangle. Okay, so for us to find, okay, so for us to find the relation between x, so there are two triangles that can be formed here. So the green one, so which is the larger triangle, so we have the 8 feet, so for the height, and then the 12 feet, so for the base. And then we can consider the smaller triangle. Okay, so the smaller triangle, so would be this one, or I could use yellow. So as to get the relation, so between, okay, so between x and y. So in here, so this is y, and then the base of the yellow triangle. So if this is 12 and then we have x there, so it follows that this would be 12 minus x. So from here, so we can use the similar triangle. So the larger triangle, the green triangle, so that will be, or we'll start with the smaller one. So the smaller triangle, so we could get a ratio of the height, so which is y, and then the base is 12 minus x. Then for the larger triangle, so since we are just equating the height as well as the base, so we don't need to square it. Okay, so y all over 12 minus x, and then that would be equal to 8 all over 12. So 8 all over 12. So that will be the relation that we can get. So for congruent angles, or for similar triangles, for similar triangles, so we have y all over 12 minus x. So for the yellow triangle, and then for the larger triangle, which is a similar triangle with the yellow one, so that will be 8 all over 12. And then from here, so we can get the value of y. So by cross multiplying, so 8 all over 12, multiply it with 12 minus x. So we could have y then to be equivalent to, so 8 over 12 times 12, so that will be 8. Then minus 8 all over 12 times x. So 8 all over 12, so that will be in lowest term, so 2/3 times x. Right, so we distribute. So this one would be 8, and then we distribute 8 over 12 times x is 8 all over 12. However, we can have 2/3. Okay, so as the lowest term. Okay, so 4 8 all over 12. Then we substitute this one, so with our original equation, so a then will be equal to x, and then 8 minus 2/3 x. So a then would be equal to 8x, so minus 2/3 x squared. So we maximize. So we maximize a. So to do that, so we derive a, so with respect to x, and equate it to 0. Have dA all over dx then, so will be equal to 8 minus 2 times 2/3. So we have minus 4/3 of x, and then we equate this one to 0. So 8 minus 4 over 3 x is equals to 0. So negative 4/3 x is equals to negative 8. So dividing both by negative 1, so we'll just have 4 x then will be equal to 3 times 8, so which is 24. And x then will be equal to 6. So when x is equals to 6, so we substitute x, so to get the value of y, which is 8 minus 2/3 of x. So 8 minus 2/3, so this is 6. So 8 minus 2, 4, and then the height will be 2. Okay. So to get the largest area of the rectangle then, so we multiply. So x is 6, y is 2. So we'll have, so y is 4, sorry. So y is 4. And the answer would be 24 square feet. So this would be the largest area of a rectangle that can be inscribed in a given triangle. Okay, so let's continue with another problem. So a man in a rowboat, or a man in a boat, so 6 miles from shore, so desires to reach a point on the shore at a distance of 10 miles from his present position. So let's try to draw that first statement. Okay, so there's a man in a boat. So let's say we have okay, so there's a man in a boat. And it says that he is, or the man is 6 miles from the shore. So let's say this would be the shore. So the man is 6 miles from the shore. So this is 6 miles. And desires to reach a point on the shore at a distance of 10 miles. Okay, so currently, so he's 6 miles from the shore, and then he wants to reach another point from the shore, so which is 10 miles from his current position. So assuming so from the shore, so 10 miles down. So he wants to reach that this point. Okay. So he wants to reach this. So this would be the destination. Okay. So this is the destination of the man. So 10 miles. And then for the next statement, so if he can walk 4 miles per hour and row 2 miles per hour. Okay. If he can walk 4 miles per hour and then can row 2 miles per hour, in what direction should he row in order to reach his destination in the shortest possible time? So I'll say this is the destination. So possible that okay, so given that he can row 2 miles per hour, so mas mabagal yung pag-row, and then yung paglalakad would be 4 miles. There are different ways on how to do it, but we want the shortest possible time. Okay, so the shortest possible time to reach the destination. So the man could have or could row the entire 10 miles because that is still part of the ocean. So the man can row 10 miles. Kaya lang kung gagawin niya yon, so for example, this is that is 10 miles, and then he can row at 2 miles per hour. Okay? So purely hindi na siya maglalakad. So 10 miles and then divide it with 2 miles per hour. So if that is the case, if he will row the entire 10 miles, magsasagwan siya yung buong 10 miles. And then nagro-row siya ng 2 miles bawat oras. Okay? So that means it will take the man mga 5. So kung ito yung susundan niya, di ba? So ito yung susundan niya, yung diretsong pagro-row. So that would be it will took that person, uh, and then let me write. So by rowing only, so that would be equal to yun nga, no? So 10 miles and divide it with 2 miles per hour. So that is approximately 5 hours. Okay? So to reach the destination. The other one, by the way, if that person will row the 6 miles, okay, so row the 6 miles, so that means pupunta lang siya perpendicular to his current position. If he will just row, kasi ito na yung pinaka tawag dito, pinakamalapit na pwedeng i-row nung tao, so would just be 6 miles. Kaya lang, so pag nag-row siya ng 6 miles, so the final destination is at this point, so he needs to walk, okay, so from this point until the destination. So ilan ba to? So by the way, kung titingnan natin to, this is 5 miles. Similar lang to, no? And then this would be 3. So divided by 2. So 10 divided 2 is 5. 6 divided 2 is 3. So therefore, this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So we could have 4 here. So therefore, by Pythagorean theorem, actually, you can verify it, that this one would be 8 miles. So kung gagawin naman niya yon, so by ano naman to, by rowing and by walking, so approximately, so this will be maglalakad siya, no? So 6, or magro-row siya, which is 2 miles per hour, plus yung maglalakad siya, ang lalakaran niya would be 8 miles. So 8 miles over, mas mabilis siya maglakad 4 miles per hour. So this will be, so 6 divides 2 is 3. So 8 divides 4 will be 2. Okay. So it would still be 5 hours. Okay. So parehas lang. So it's either you're going to row directly, okay, so from the current position to the destination, it would took the man 5 hours. However, if he chooses to row the 6 miles, so which would take 3 hours to do it, and then walk the 8 miles, so which would take 2 hours, so 3 plus 2, that will be equal to 5 hours. So ngayon, what would be the combination of rowing and walking that will yield the shortest time? Okay? So in what direction daw siya? Okay? So in what direction so will the man row, so para ma-reach yung destination niya in the shortest possible time? So what I'm going to do is so for example, I'm going to assume that this would be the distance that will be rowed by the man, and then yung from that point, dun sa end point ng yellow until doon sa destination, so that will be the point na maglalakad siya. Okay? So I'm going to assume na, let's say this would be y. So y will be the distance. Okay? So y will be the distance that will be rowed by the man. And then so let's say I'm going to assume yung length na to, okay, so to be x. So ngayon, ito yung lalakaran niya. So I use x there so that I could have the right triangle, so which is involves y as the hypotenuse, so x as the base, and then 6 miles as the height. So ngayon, if the entire thing is 8 miles, and then from this point to this point is x, So it follows then that this is 8 minus x. So yung i-row niya would be y miles, and then yung lalakaran niya would be 8 minus x miles. Okay. So ang gusto natin, okay, so we'll have the shortest possible time. Okay, so the shortest possible time. So remember, so this is the formula that I've used here, that the time is equals to the distance divided with that of the speed. Okay, so the distance divided with that speed. So required here, that would be the time, and then the time is actually the time to row plus the time to walk, and then we minimize the time. So ayan, so how do we get the time? So the time then, so would be equal to the time to row. So remember that time, the time is equals to the distance divided with the speed. So the time to row, so yung kulay yellow, so that would be y, right? Or that's what the distance to row is y. Tapos the time, so na nagro-row siya, that would be 2 miles per hour. Right? So yun yung the speed. So nagro-row siya would be 2 miles per hour. And then yung iwo-walk niya, so which is 8 minus x. So divide it with 4 naman, no? So 4. So that would be our time. Okay, so y all over 2 plus 8 minus x. And then from here, so we need to get a relation, right? So between y and x. So we can use the yellow triangle. So using the yellow triangle, so we can get there that y squared, so which is the hypotenuse, is equals to x squared plus 6 squared. So y then is equals to the square root of x squared plus 36. Then we substitute that one to our time. So t then would be equal to the square root of x squared plus 36 divided by 2, and then plus 8 minus x divided by 4. So ngayon, we minimize time. So to minimize time, so we derive t, so with respect to x, and then we equate that to 0. So dt over dx then, so will be equal to, so x squared plus 36, so we can make this one as raised to 1/2. So 1/2 times 1/2, so we'll have 1/4, then x squared plus 36, so 1/2 minus 1 will have negative 1/2. And then we derive x squared plus 36. So this would be by chain rule, right? So we just have 1/2 times 1/2, which is 1/4, x squared plus 36 raised to negative 1/2. 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. And then we derive x squared plus 36, so that would be 2x. Then plus, so this one is the same as 8 all over 4, so which is 2, then minus x all over 4, so which is plus, derivative of 2 is 0, then minus derivative of x all over 4 is just 1/4. Right. So from here, we can now have dt all over dx as equal to 2x over 4, so that is 1/2, or just x all over 2. So x all over 2, so 2/4 is 1/2. And then we have, so x squared plus 36 raised to negative 1/2 minus 1/4. Then we equate this one to 0. X all over 2, then the square root of x squared plus 36, so bring it down, so to make it positive, and then minus 1/4 is equals to 0. So we have x all over 2, the square root of x squared plus 36, so we transpose it, make it 1/4, and multiply everything by 2. So I'll have x all over the square root of x squared plus 36, and that would be equal to 1/2. So 2/4 is 1/2. And then, so cross multiply, so x then will be equal to, so cross multiply, x times 2, I'll have 2x, and then we'll have the square root of x squared plus 36. Then we square both sides, so we'll have 4x squared is equals to, tanggal na to, so x squared plus 36. And then 4x squared, so minus x squared is equals to 36. So 3x squared is equals to 36. So we divide it by 3. So we'll have then x squared to be equivalent to 12. So from there, so we can see that x is equal to the square root of 12 miles. Kaya lang, hindi yun yung ang tanong. Okay, so we need to find what's y. Okay. So let me add a page. So if x is square root of 12 miles, so y is, so y is the square root of x squared plus 36. So y then would be square root of 12, then square plus 36. So y is just simply 12 plus 36. Y is square root of 48. So square root of 48, that is the same as 16 times 3, right? So this is the same as 16 times 3, so which is 4 the square root of 3. Ito naman 12, this is the same as 4 times 3, right? Which is 12, which is the same as 2 the square root of 3. So that is y. So in what direction? So we have again, so we have the boat, right? So if this distance is 4 square root of 3, then this one is 2 square root of 3. So what would be the direction? So towards the shore. Okay. So that will be, we can use, so opposite over hypotenuse. So we could use sine, right? So sine theta, so would be opposite. So 2 square root of 3, and the other one is 4 square root of 3. So sine theta then is equals to 2/4. So cancel yung square root of 3. So 2/4 is 1/2. So theta then is 30 degrees. So that would be the direction. Okay. So the direction that the boat, okay, so needs to head on would be 30 degrees, okay, from the perpendicular line of the shore. Okay. So in short, ito. So dito siya magro-row. So 30 degrees. So let's try to verify, no? So kung sabi natin kanina, if that is really the shortest time. So far what we get would be 5 hours, no? So kung magta-travel siya or magro-row siya, di ba? So the time equals to time rowing plus the time walking. So ang iro-row niya would be ayun, no? Yung 4 square root of 3 and then nagro-row siya ng 2, no? So 2 miles per hour. Yung iwo-walk niya, it's not the 2 square root of 3. So that's just x. It's actually 8 minus 2 square root of 3. Then divide it with 4. So this is 2. 4 divides 2 is 2. 2 square root of 3. And then plus 8 over 4 is 2. And then minus, so 2 over 4 is 1/2. Square root of 3 all over 2. So let's try to find, so what is that time? 2 square root of 3 and then plus 2 and then minus square root of 3 or square root of 3 all over 2. So this one is approximately equal to 4.6 hours. So which is lesser than 5 hours. Okay. So nakasave siya ng 40% of an hour. So 40% of 60 is 24 minutes. Diba? So that is how to solve this one. So it's a bit longer. Actually, it's a complicated problem na. And let's proceed with our last example. So find the altitude of the cylinder of maximum volume, so which can be inscribed in a right circular cone of radius 8 feet and a height of 10 feet. So for our given here, so we have a cylinder. Okay, so let's say the cylinder, find the altitude of cylinder which can be inscribed. So inscribe, so which can be placed inside, okay, the right circular cone. So we have a right circular cone. So that would be the right circular cone. So the right circular cone has a radius of 4 feet. Then it has a height of 10 feet. So find the altitude of the cylinder of maximum volume. So we are to maximize the volume. So the volume of the cylinder, so let's say the radius is R, and then the height is H. And this is the height. So the volume of the cylinder is the one to be maximized. Diba the volume is the base times the height. However, the base is a circle, so the area of the circle is pi r squared, then multiplied by height. And that is the one to be maximized. So maximize the volume. But again, so we have two. We have r and the height. So what we need to find is the h. So therefore, so let's try to find the relation of the radius of the cylinder as well as the radius of that of the cone. Okay, so for our solution, I can draw, if I'm going to cut this one laterally, vertical, it will form I could form a right triangle. Like for example, if I am going to cut this one, this will be the same as, so from this point down to these, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So ito yung magiging side nung the cone. And then we have the cylinder inside. So this would be the cylinder inside. So ayan, this is R, right? And this is H. So itong buong ito, this is 4. And of course, this one is 10. So we can get, okay, so H or R. So in terms of H, so as to find what's the value of H. So from here, so we can get that. So ano yung similar triangle natin yan? So similar triangle natin, the bigger triangle, so which is 10 and 4. And then the smaller triangle is this one. So yung yellow. So if this is R, so etong yellow na base, so that would be 4 minus R. Tapos yung height niya is H. So kukuhanin natin is the R, no? So for our similar triangle, so 4 minus R. So it's the same, 4 minus R all over H is the same as 4 all over 10. So 4 minus R, okay, ito. So yung sa yellow na base, tapos ang height niya is H. Then is equal to, so yung 4, yung pinaka-base nung circular cone, and then ang height niya will be 10. So ngayon, we could have 4 minus R all over H. That is 4 all over 10, which is 2 all over 5. And we cross multiply, so we'll have 5 times 4 minus R, so equals to 2H. So this would be 20, so minus 5R is equals to 2H. So negative 5r is equals to 2h minus 20. Then we divide both sides by negative 5. So what is r then? So r will be, so unahin ko na yung positive. So negative 20 over negative 5. So it will be positive 4. Right? 4 and then minus 2 all over 5h. So 4 minus 2 all over 5h. And next we so 20 minus 5r equals to 2h. 5 2h minus 20, so r will be 4 minus 2 over 5h. And then we substitute this one. So with our original equation, so yung v natin is equals to pi r squared times height. So v then, pi r is 4 minus 2 over 5h. Square it, then multiply it with h. So we can expand this first, no? So para mas simple yung pagdiderive. So v then would be equal to pi, then multiply it with the expansion of 4 minus 2 over 5h squared. So 4 squared is 16. And then, so 2 times 4 times negative 2 all over 5. So we'll have 2 times 4 is 8 times 2, 16. So negative 16 all over 5h. Then plus, so 2h or 2 over 5 times 2 all over 5. So that would be plus 4 all over 25h squared. Then multiply it with h. So in short, so we distribute this one. So we distribute pi h. Okay, so 16 pi h, then minus 16 over 5 pi h squared, and plus 4 all over 25 pi h cubed. So that would be our volume. And to maximize the volume, so we derive v, so with respect to h, and then that would be equal to 0. So dv over dh then, so is equals to, so the derivative of 16 pi h is just 16 pi. Then minus, so h squared naman, so that's just 2, no? So 2 times 16 is 32 over 5 pi h. So h squared is 2h. Okay, so 2 times 16 will be 32 over 5 pi h. Then plus, lastly, so h cubed would be 3h squared. So 3 times 4 will have 12 all over 25 pi h squared. Then we equate this one to 0. So we'll just have, unahin ko na siya, 12 over 25 pi h squared. Then plus or minus 32 all over 5 pi h. Then plus 16 pi. So equals to 0. So ngayon, we could just use quadratic formula, no? So to get the value of h, so it's either, kasi meron tayong h squared, so this one would serve as our a, so we're going to use direct calculator, so this is our b, and this is our c. So as to get the value of h, so to do that, so I'm just going to use the calculator. So a is 12 pi all over 25. Then our b is negative, so that 32 pi all over 5, negative 32 pi all over 5, and then c will just be 16 pi. So I'll have h equal to 3.33. The other one is 10. So, but which one are we going to accept? Is it the 3.33 or the other one, so which is 10? Okay, so we are finding here as the height of the cylinder. Okay, so h is absurd. It's because this height is the same as the height of the cylinder or of the cone. If the height is 10, so that means it's just a line. Okay, so that makes it as an absurd cylinder. However, if height is 3.33, so that's something that is within. Okay, so within the parameters for the cylinder. So the answer then would be 3.33 feet. So this will be the altitude of the right cylinder. Right, so that's the cylinder. So there's an alternative way, so which is the same in your lecture, but it finds the value of r first, so before getting the value of h, which I think the mathematics there is much simpler as compared to this one. Okay, so that will be all. We'll just be having the time rates as our last topic for midterms.